Hi everyone, Spiderman1991 here to do a Avenger log. Since I started doing podcasts with Dark Avenger CA6 and Toxicity, we've kind of sort of formed like a team and stuff with this, and they've already done Avenger logs already, and Chris Dark Avenger started it. Then Tox followed, and I just figured right now. Why not do a few as well? First of all, if you didn't see my review last week, then you know that I'm dropping Ultimate Comics X-Men and Young Justice. Ultimate Comics X-Men because I'm not really into the series anymore. Young Justice, the TV show's back, and I'm just not, and I kind of want to cut back on some money, so I figured I'd drop that title. And also, in January though, Scarlet Spider is they're gonna release the Scarlet Spider series. I'm gonna get that, but at the same time, I will drop Avenging Spider-Man so I can buy Scarlet Spider, because I think it's while it is Spider-Man related, it's different, and Avenging Spider-Man, I don't know, it's just seems like another Peter Parker title, and I figured if I could get Scarlet Spider, it would just be, another addition, sort of another take on another Spider hero that's not Peter Parker, just something different. And, that's pretty much all the... another thing, Thanksgiving week, I don't normally do reviews when there's a holiday week, just because, I don't know, I take the time off to do stuff, but... See, the thing I forgot to realize was that Fantastic Four 600 comes out this week. So probably sometime around Friday or Saturday, I'll probably have a review post up of that one issue, though. Just that one, just so that I can get everything out of what apparently Jonathan Hickman has been building up with the 600th issue of Fantastic Four, and whether or not I'm going to keep buying that title or not. Future Foundation is going to continue after 600, but that's mostly going to focus on the kids, Franklin Richards and Valerie and the rest of the little kids in the Future Foundation, so I might drop that one and just stick to the main Fantastic Four title if Fantastic Four 600 delivers. Okay, now for some news. This was just announced today on... Sci-Fi has ordered a pilot script for a Booster Gold series. So now Booster Gold is getting his own television series. He already made several television appearances in Justice League and Batman Brave and the Bold, and in the last season of Smallville. Now he's pretty much getting his own series on the Sci-Fi Network that is going to be written by, I believe it's... I think it's going to be written by Andrew Kreisberg from Fringe, and it's basically the series is basically going to start at the beginning with Booster coming from the future as a washed-up athlete, and now he's going to become a superhero in order to seek fame and fortune. But as the series progresses, he's going to realize that's a lot harder than it looks and start to develop some humanity, I guess would be the right word to use, but if you're a Booster Gold fan, I think you would be happy about it, and hopefully this pilot will actually get to air, unlike the failed NBC Wonder Woman pilot. But from what I saw of that, from the Wonder Woman pilot, it didn't look good, so of course, how could I really form an opinion? I didn't actually see it. Unless I find a leaked version online, but okay. Anyways, Booster Gold is coming to Sci-Fi. There's no air date released yet. The pilot was the order for the pilot was just announced, so I'd bring that up. Okay, next up, some news I heard about The Dark Knight Rises. Yesterday, Christopher Nolan revealed that apparently The Dark Knight Rises takes place 8 years after The Dark Knight. 8 years. That's a little far. I mean, I thought the whole Nolan's Batman series was just going to be taken on a young Batman, like he's just starting out. and just like the first couple years. And now apparently we're going to be like 8 years in the future with Batman, and apparently Bruce Wayne hasn't been Batman all the time between Dark Knight and Dark Knight Rises. Though really, I think 8 years might be a little too much. I mean, if it was maybe 2 or 3 years, I could understand, but 8, that's kind of pushing it, because again, Nolan kind of sets up for the stories of a young Batman, like maybe in his mid-20s. Now it seems like the story is gonna, well, he's like in his mid-20s in this movie. So far, I think Bruce Wayne was in his mid-20s in Batman Begins and Dark Knight. Now it seems like the story's gonna end in his mid-30s. It just seems like a little too much time. Although there is going to be a prologue to sort of explain. Yeah, it's going to reveal like the first 6 minutes of the movie. But the prologue will only be shown on an IMAX version of Mission Impossible Ghost Protocol, which is going to come out December 16th. I don't think I want to see an IMAX version of the new Mission Impossible movie just to see a Dark Knight Rises prologue. Thinking about it, I really don't. I mean, for one reason, we live in this world where the internet has played a huge part in our lives, and I think someone somewhere would put up a leaked version. There's going to be a leaked version somewhere on the web. It's probably not going to be probably on YouTube, but it's not a bad marketing scheme to attach. The trailers were always. The teaser trailer was attached to Harry Potter in the summer, and now they're attaching a prologue to a movie coming out this December, though. Also the Also, there's going to be. I think there might be a new trailer attached to Sherlock Holmes 2. I know there's going to be something Dark Knight Rises attached to Sherlock Holmes 2, so it might be an actual full trailer or a teaser that shows a lot more footage than the last one. But Dark Knight Rises, I don't know. I'm just not as psyched for it as I was for The Dark Knight. When The Dark Knight, Batman. When I first saw Batman Begins, I was a little enjoyed for it. Then at the end, where they lead off to the Joker, I'm like, okay, there's going to be a sequel. And then as we got closer, and I saw some trailer, then in between the time between Begins and Dark Knight, as it got closer to the release date, it became more and more psyched because this was the Joker, and from what I saw from most of the footage, Heath Ledger did a good job. Then we get to the Dark Knight, and it blew my mind. I was really happy. Then we get the announcement that there's going to be a sequel, and again, right between Dark Knight and Dark Knight Rises, my excitement, well, first, it's kind of like this. Okay, here's where I am at Dark Knight. Okay, we're going along here. Anne Hathaway's Catwoman. There's Bane, that's going to be awesome. Ra's al Ghul might return, and the 8-year thing. Bring me down. Don't know if I put my hand out of focus. I can't really see the screen in the back of the camera, but anyways, I don't know. I kind of feel like the third movie of a superhero franchise usually doesn't do so well as the second or the first. Spider-Man 3 was, I'd say, average at best. Superman 3 was very bad, and don't even get me started on Batman Forever and Batman and Robin. Those were just 2 horrible movies that almost killed the Batman franchise in every superhero movie. Okay, but Dark Knight Rises, I'm still going to see it. Although, with all the hype between the Avengers movie and Amazing Spider-Man, I really hope DC brings their A-game to this and it won't underperform like Green Lantern. Okay, and one more thing. This was announced with Dark Avengers, announced this on his last Avenger Log, and he told me about it last week, when we were chatting on Skype, but Superman apparently from the impression here of the new Superman from Justice League number 3 is that he is willing to kill. But this is just an assumption, though, honestly. I mean, the only evidence we have of this is just from Justice League number 3 last week. I didn't mention this in my review because I didn't notice it. Okay, I didn't notice it, but yeah, apparently Superman pretty much went a little out of control and sliced up a parademon. I'm not so sure if that means he's willing to kill or not, because, well, see, this is where I'm kind of at a crossroads. I mean, on one hand, I really hope they don't make this new DC Superman into a killer. I really hope they don't make him kill enemies with a whim, because that's just not right. That isn't fair to the character since the very beginning, because ever since through all the reboots, all the crises, he's still remained that person who doesn't want to take a life. But on the other hand, though, I didn't notice it because, well, it's a parademon. Okay, it's just one of Darkseid's foot soldiers. Okay, it's not that. Honestly, the parademons are just mindless drones that work for Darkseid. They're basically like robots. I think the reason this just freaked everyone out was because of how Superman's reacting in this issue was that he was going, well, first of all, Metropolis was under a huge attack by the parademons because a huge boom tube just opened up, releasing them. And all the heroes were surrounded, so Superman's just beating them up, pounding the crap out of them. That's what he's doing. Because, again, this is 5 years ago, okay? This might... I'm not even sure how close... Sorry. Not even sure how close the founding of the Justice League is to wherever Grant Morrison's Action Comics story takes place. I mean, I don't know how close they are, but it still seems like this is still Superman when he's younger, and he's a little brash and arrogant. Is that really the right word I want to use whatever. Anyways, the point is, Superman killing a parademon, I really have no problems with. But if he killed a major enemy, or if he killed anyone else that, I guess actually if he killed like a major villain or something, just even though he had other options like prison or anything, then I would be pissed. But if it's just a foot, but I mean, Superman would never take. I think even if Superman was fighting a human robber in this new universe, he wouldn't even kill him there. He would just probably beat him up a bit and then throw him in the potty wagon. And, I mean, again, we're only 3 issues into this. We haven't really seen... So far, Superman's just been fighting... Well, going back here, I'm trying to remember in Action Comics number 1, he did get rough with some people who were chasing him, but he didn't intentionally kill anyone. Okay, he doesn't intentionally want to kill. That's the thing, though. I'm not even sure how far we are into this whole Superman is willing to kill. DC hasn't really said, okay, Superman is now going to kill. They haven't said that. They've just given us the impression that this Superman might be a little more vile, a little more of a man of action than he used to be. Alright? And, again, again, the only way I would ever find Superman killing an enemy ever tolerable, and when I say tolerable, I mean I would just might allow it, but I would never accept it, because Superman isn't the guy who would take a life. That's who he is. However, though, in the past, the only way Superman killing someone would ever be tolerable is if, one, he's out of options, okay? He has no other way of defeating this enemy. There's no prison that can hold him. There's nothing else he can do. The Fam Zone doesn't work. He's running out of options, and this is the only way he can do it. And number 2, is if he felt remorseful about it. He felt completely remorseful and he regrets it. That is another thing. Because I want to call in two examples. First of all, one involving the pre-crisis Superman. In Superman, Whatever Happened to the Man of Tomorrow. This is the hardcover. This was basically written as written right before Crisis of Infinite Earths, and it was kind of the idea, giving us the impression of the last Superman story. It was written by Alan Moore, and it was printed in both Superman and Action Comics, and this is the collected edition that was released the collected special edition that was released a couple years ago. It basically ends with Superman's enemies, Superman at war with all his enemies, and well, they all find out he's Clark Kent, and then that leads him to a final battle in the Fortress of Solitude. But most of his enemies do die, but they're not by his hands. The only enemy to die by his hands is Mr. Mxyzptlk, who appears at the end, who appears after every one. Lex Luthor, Brainiac, Kryptonite Man has fallen, and Mr. Mxyzptlk says he manipulated everything because he got tired of being a goofy prankster and just decided to become evil. So then he transformed into his real form, and then Superman couldn't defeat him, and he was running out of options. So he took his Phantom Zone projector and he was going to fire it at Mr. Mxyzptlk, but right when the beam hits Mr. Mxyzptlk, he says his name backwards, which would send him back to the fifth dimension. However, with both, I don't know how to explain it, but when the Phantom Zone portal tried to hit him, and when he tried to go back to the fifth dimension, trying to go to getting into both dimensions at the same time, split him in half, I guess, and he died. And after that, though, Superman said that he knew that would happen, and he broke his oath to take a life, and so now he's not worthy of his powers. So Superman goes into a gold kryptonite chamber, and he's stripped of his powers forever. And that's example number one of Superman ever killing. That's the thing. That's something that really stood out to me, was that even after once all his enemies died, I questioned it though, because Superman took away all his power. Sorry, my phone was going off. Superman took, I think the gold kryptonite thing really made me wonder, would he have done that if all of his enemies were alive? I mean, everyone was gone at that point. Most of his big threats were gone, and Mr. Mxyzptlk was the only one left that Superman would have to get into a battle with. So I think he felt the world was no longer a threat or anything, and that's actually, it's debatable whether or not he would have done that if all his enemies weren't gone. But anyways, the point is, Superman did feel remorse, and he didn't want his power. He felt he wasn't worthy of his powers anymore, because his powers were a gift, being the last son of Krypton, that he used to fight for justice and truth. But once he committed an act like that, an act of murder, he, even if it was in self-defense, he felt guilty and decided to strip his powers. That's all. And example number 2, I guess, would be post-crisis. During a 3-part story, I think this event took place in, well, the final part took place in Superman Volume 2, Issue 22. Superman was sent to an alternate Smallville where apparently Superboy was dead, and it really resembles the pre-crisis Earth, and there was an alternate version of General Zod, Ursa, and I think Non, the big 3 Kryptonian villains. They escaped from the Phantom Zone, nearly destroyed Earth. Superman stopped them by using gold kryptonite to remove their powers, but then they threatened to find another way to restore their powers and then find Superman's main universe and cause trouble there. And so Superman had them executed with green kryptonite. And again, once he got back, he started to regret it. He hated himself, and he decided to exile himself from Earth, and he went to space for about a year or 2. And that's the only 2. So, I hate to say it, but Superman has broken his rule a couple of times, which is sad, but I'm not even so sure if I could accept the circumstances, but I might allow them because he did feel remorse, he did feel regret, and he did feel he should have been punished for it. And again, if Superman another, I guess, example that I just thought of right now speaking was in Justice League when they dealt with the whole Justice Lord's timeline. It started when Superman didn't run out of options, but he just felt like he couldn't keep going after Lex Luthor and having Lex locked up and then escape again every time. So Superman just decided to kill Lex, and that was when Lex was president. And then the Justice League eventually took over the planet. And that proves that the only way Superman would ever kill would be if he ran out of options. If he couldn't hold them in prison, if he couldn't... Oh, and don't ask me about the whole general... Don't really ask me any detailed questions about the whole thing where he fought the General Zod arc, because I've only read the Cliff Notes version of it. And I haven't actually read the whole story arc, but I am looking for the individual issues. I'm hoping to get them someday. But again, when Dark Avenger heard the news, he decided to drop all the Superman titles, and well, I'm not. I really can't, because one thing I'm enjoying action. I am liking Grant Morrison's run on action. For Superman, I still want to read it just so I can still kind of get my understanding about the present day DC Universe Superman. That's pretty much why I'm still reading that. But still, DC Comics, if you are watching this, please do not let Superman intentionally kill, okay? Because it's wrong, alright? It's bad. I mean, you probably heard all the negative feedback you got from the costume change and the marriage retcon, but please, do not let Superman intentionally kill, alright? That's one of the things that makes him so great, because he has all this power, but he chooses to help people and make lives better instead of taking them. Alright? You shouldn't... And, alright, and back to the parademon argument that I sort of made, that it's no big deal if Superman mutilates a parademon. Well, in the second story arc for the Superman Batman series, I have the trade paperback it's with my sister because I lent it to her because it featured the first appearance of Supergirl post-crisis. Anyways, during that fight, though, Darkseid sent a bunch of Doomsday clones onto Paradise Island, and Superman, after a while of punching these things, he just decided to let loose and release a giant beam of heat vision that pretty much burnt them all. Oh, and another thing about the parademon thing, another thing in Superman the Animated Series, he used his heat... I think in this very last episode of the Superman animated series, when he returned to Apokolips because he wanted to get revenge on Darkseid for using him to take over the world, Superman decided to burn all the parademons, burned an entire wave of parademons again with heat vision. But I don't know, I didn't feel anything when Superman took out the Doomsday clones or the parademons. I didn't. I don't know why. I guess because Darkseid makes foot soldiers that completely obey him, and they're more like robots than living beings. Man, it's very dark to think like that. But again, Superman, back to the main argument here, Superman, it didn't seem like Superman wasn't intentionally killing, because it seems like he was more like defending himself, and he was still young and brash, but now in the present DCU, if he does kill, that would be very bad for DC. Because I think if people saw that, then they would drop all their Superman titles. Like Chris, if that happens, then everyone would drop Superman. That's what would happen, okay? Everyone would, and I think I would too. If Superman intentionally took a life, if I couldn't find any reason why he did it, if he wasn't out of options, or if he didn't feel remorse, then I would drop it, okay? But if Superman does regret it and he does give himself a punishment, either take away his powers or go into exile into space, then I would find it tolerable to a degree. But Superman can't kill. He can't. He's Superman. It would be defeating the very thing that makes him so great. It's not just his powers, it's his character. It's that he can do amazing things, but he doesn't want to take a life, okay? Well, that's my first Avenger log. Hope everyone liked it. I'll probably make a few more of these soon, probably around Christmas. Spiderman1991 saying, see you later.